Mike Tyson?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Eh, Can you elaborate on those conversations as it pertains to Don King taking your money?
Oh yeah, it's crazy because I don't know if you guys. I don't know if yeah, you probably might remember this. You know, when I was getting ready for the Holyfield fight, you know, I was in
In Texas. In Texas.
yeah, San Antonio, Texas.
You got sick
Well,
before that fight. You
yes,
got sick,
watch it. A lot of
yeah.
people don't know about
Oh
that.
man,
I
you
had
got
104
sick.
degree, no excuses.
Yeah, I know all this
A
stuff. Come
day
on.
before the fight, no
Yeah.
excuses. But you know what?
Uh-huh.
I did something that Mike Tyson couldn't even do. Good 12 rounds, and I outboxed him, and I wasn't even 100% because you
Uh-huh.
know I'm fighting the goat. I'm fighting Holyfield. I
Mhm.
mean, sick as I was, it was supposed to be canceled. You know, nice little money, and you know it's just heartbreaking that a lot of people, even the San Antonio Express newspaper, they had me winning by 3 rounds. In the world, I boxed. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, I get that, but damn, I mean, this is just one of many. But getting back to what we're talking about,
Mike Tyson. The
he
conversation
ended up,
you and Mike Tyson
yeah,
had with
Mike Tyson ended up rehabbing during that time when I was training for the Holyfield. I forgot to tell you, I was staying in Sherman Oaks, over the valley. And my training camp at that time, my trainer at the time was Freddie Roach. You know, he was
Freddie
my
Rowe.
trainer. Pacquiao was my
Sure was.
stable. Yeah, yeah. I ended up
Coming
being with
back to
Freddie
me
Roach.
now. I remember.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, from
you went to
'05.
UCLA. You went to
Yep.
UCLA when you got sick. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I ended up, training with Freddie. We had a great, great camp, man. Everything was on time. I had great sparring. Man, I was in phenomenal shape. And man, next thing days before the fight, I was like, man, my fever went up. I went to UCLA to this day. I still got my medical records. And Freddie was like, man, this is. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I ended up getting hydrated, drink my lot of Peter Light. Wasn't feeling the strongest, but I was such in great shape, man, and that helped me kind of get a little better, fight night. But it was a fight that was great. But Tyson, before that fight, he ended up I ended up running into him. He
Wow.
was rehabbing, and he was on Sunset Boulevard, just walking at the cigar shop. It's a famous cigar shop by I don't know if it's the Laugh Factory, but it's on the Sunset Boulevard. And I always used to run into all type of people. Larry Fishburne. I mean, everybody. It's like, wow, what the hell? I mean, I'm walking like a regular person. I run into all these people. I ran to Nas. He stayed not too far from me in Hollywood Hills. Because that's where I stayed for a couple of months. I lived there for a couple of months training for the fight. And I used to run with a lot of people. But Mike, he ended up, man, what's up? He called me Oquendo. What up, Oquendo? Man, how you doing? Cause I met Mike for the first time back in 1999 when I was, up and coming prospect on his card. He was the main event at the MGM Grand, January 16th, I think. And I fought Duncan Duckworth, the 1996 Olympic bronze medalist from Nigeria. The guy was like a mammoth Olympian. I don't know if you're familiar with that. He was like one of the favorites, supposed to be the next, killer in heavyweight boxing. He was one of Joe Dan Goose is one of his top, flight heavyweights. So he ended up throwing me to the wolves, fighting him. And, my first 8 round, I'm like, man, wait a minute. I'm only 10, 11, and 0, 12, I'm like, why are you putting us, I'm thinking to myself, but, they're like, try to test me. I'm like, all right, and then I had my family. My trainer at the time was training me was Dan Goosen. Actually Joe Goosen. I'm sorry,
Joe
Dan's the
Gooden,
front.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe
He's
Goosen. So
the
I
trainer.
trained.
Dan
Yes,
is
I
the
love
promoter, yeah.
Van Nuys, and then the co-trainer was D.D. Armour. He's like a legend. He trained Alfonso Ratliff, just to name a few. When he won the WBC title, that was one of my original trainers from Chicago. That was in my corner that night. And Mike Tyson remembered as a man for a good fight. Man, I remember he said, "Man, I'm over here just getting myself together." And I remember because I was like, "Man, hearing the news, oh, Tyson's rehab. Him and Britney Spears, they were in the same wherever Britney Spears was at, and they were in the same facility." But yeah, I ended up talking to Mike. I was like, "Oh yeah, Fred, man, you gotta watch it. That motherfucker, you see him like that, he's strong as an ox, but you got the skills. I seen you fought my car, Oquendo, because he called me Oquendo. Everybody in the boxing world, like Roy Jones, everybody Oquendo. So that's love. He's like, I said, big brother, thank you. I said, man, listen, man, Don't get caught up with all this hype stuff. Look at where I'm at now. I try to get myself together. I'm over in the damn rehab. He's like, who's my damn close to me? Britney Spears. He started, man, that one was all crazy and shit. But I guess, but man, I'm hearing these stories. I'm like, man, this is crazy, man. Straight Hollywood. I'm like, wow. Mike Tyson right there reminiscing. People was walking. They couldn't believe. You're like, wait a minute, what? I mean, Tyson. But yeah, he gave me nice encouraging, words, and I remember like it was yesterday. And man, we talked for a good 30 minutes, because he had to check himself in, so he couldn't stay that long to talk to me. He was gonna come to Freddie Roach's gym to see me train, but he was in rehab, so he couldn't really, talk to me often. But yeah, he gave some encouraging words, and I appreciate him. And I'm happy he's doing a lot better.
A lot better.
Not with this Tyson match. I mean, I'd love to meet with him one day. I'd love to get invited and see him hopefully soon.
Yeah. So y'all never had too many conversations about Don King?
You know what? Yes. Now that you refresh my memory, he ended up saying, man, Fres, I heard you were down for me. I said, yeah. He said, man, yeah, because you fought undercard Roy Jones. You fought John Reed. Didn't you knock out one of his guys? I said, yeah, I fought Maurice Harris. I said, man, how much you get paid for that fight? And I said, man, I was supposed to get paid $500,000 was the elimination, and I wasn't expecting no $1 million person. That's just a heavyweight champ. Man, can you believe this guy was supposed to give me a $500,000 fight? Mike, can you believe you only paid me 75? I said, Fred, man, get the fuck. I mean, he said, I'm glad you got that dude. He took a lot of money. Basically, he said, I did the right thing, getting away from this cutthroat. It's just sad to see black on black crime. We should all unite, man, not be divided. And Don King's like some Trumpster, some BS. I'm like, dude, let's unite the fighters. We're all walks of life, man. Let's stick together, man. Right now, the brown, the black, I mean, we're getting discriminated. Man, dude, you just dividing us, man. I mean, you murdered somebody in Cleveland back in the day. People gave you second chances. Why are you treating us, man, the fighters that risk our lives, I mean, and short changes,
Right.
Yeah, Don's cut those, but Mike, he don't mess with Don either.
Yeah, right. Mr. J